Okay, this video is for BuyBoxWinner. It's a great formula. It's very simple to use. But before I get started, make sure that you've got your extension installed and it's been activated with the subscription ID. If it doesn't save for whatever reason, make sure you do it in incognito mode because you have to bypass Google's cache. Secondly, make sure that you've got your seller store nickname added to your Gorilla ROI account. It just makes it easier when you create formulas. And third, when you if you are in Europe or in a Spanish-speaking countries, make sure you use semicolon instead of comma. Okay, so let's get started. I've already got my list of SKUs inside in column A. Okay, I'm using SKU list. I could do the same thing with ASIN list. Type in equals gorilla underscore buy box, and then you'll see these options appear. I'm going to select buy box winner, and it's going to highlight each parameter or each attribute one at a time. It's telling me to select or enter my seller ID or nickname. I've already got it here. I've already entered it at the top here in E1, test seller 2. You can manually hard code it in, like test seller 2 or something like this, like shoe store, sock store, whatever you want, whatever your store name is. Just not your store, Amazon store name, your Gorilla store name. Okay, in this case, test seller 2, comma, and then it's highlighting SKU or ASINs. We use those interchangeably. You will want to select the entire range rather than just a single cell like this. Because I see a lot of one of the big problems that people do is they'll do this where they just select it for one SKU and then they will drag it down for all of the other SKUs. And if you have 1,000 SKUs, it's going to be you're going to pretty much end up using 1,000 calls rather than be just using one call to do everything in bulk. So change this formula from A2, drag it down to A16, or if you have like A1000 or A10,000, just do it like that. And this way, when you close out the formula, you'll see that everything is now loaded in bulk. If you are winning the buy box, obviously it's going to show you as winner. If you're losing it, it's going to show you as a loser. And NA means that the SKU is no longer active or it doesn't exist. You can go further and really narrow down your data by also selecting a marketplace. So if you want to show it specifically for, say, the US, the Canada, or the Mexico, then you can. If I wanted to do, say, US here and Canada here, what I would do is I'm going to comma and then US, and that's going to show me whether these SKUs are winning in the US or not. And I'm going to, if I just drag it to the right, it's going to throw an error because it's going to shift everything over. So I'm going to lock these references in. And now when I drag it to the right, it's going to look up all of the buy box, whether it's winning or losing the buy box for Canada. Now to do the same thing using the static formula, go into extensions, go into the menu, manage queries, and it's going to open up this sidebar here. From the sidebar, select buy box winner, and rather than typing in a formula, do the same thing here. So it's asking you for the nickname. My nickname is currently located in E1, so I'm just going to type in E1, or you can click this icon and then select it. Or if you want to manually enter it, you can just select manual and then do test seller 2 or whatever your store name is. So go back to that, E1. Now for the ASIN or the SKU reference, same thing. It's saying that you can select a cell reference. So again, I know that my list of SKU is in A2 to A16. I'm going to leave my marketplace blank. I just want to pull up the default values. And the refresh frequency, I'm going to set it to, let's say, every 2 hours. And now if I've selected the cell where I want the formula to be loaded. I'm going to insert the formula, and what you'll see is that there's another option in the static formula where it creates a checkbox so that if you click this checkbox, it's going to look up and do a manual refresh. So check this. The system is going to understand that there's a request to manually refresh it, and then you'll see this, it'll reload, and there you go. So that's how you can use the dynamic formula as well as the static.